Hey everybody, it's Angela here, and I'm the founder of asfreeasyousee.com. And you have come to the right place if you are feeling stuck and lost and like you're not living up to your fullest potential. What I do is I help women get unstuck and passionate about their lives again. And I do this by providing you tools and resources in self-discovery, healing, and stepping into your personal power. In this video, we are actually talking about personal freedom, which is so important because we all desire to have some type of personal freedom, whatever it might mean for us specifically. But today I'm actually going to give you 3 quick tips so that you can find the freedom that you are looking for. Before I get into the tips, I want to actually share with you what freedom might mean or look like and what it means to me. Freedom to me looks like a state of mind or a state of being. And I figured this out because I was at a corporate job just a couple of years ago, and I was always thinking, I just want to know what it's like to be free. I just want to know what it's like to do whatever the hell I wanted, when I wanted it, with no one telling me what to do or how I had to work and do all these things. And then I jumped ship and totally leaped to take this risk and start this online business. And then I still didn't feel that freedom that I was anticipating feeling. And then that's when I realized that it's not about whether or not I work for somebody else or I work for myself. It's also not about whether or not I get to do whatever I want when I want to, although that stuff is great and that does involve that. But I actually learned that freedom, personal freedom, is actually a state of being. You decide whether or not you are free. And then I realized it's even deeper than that. You live at peace. You decide to do things so that you can feel free within yourself. And that might mean peace and self-forgiveness and self-love. And it's really just this radical journey that you take. It is not something that you just come across because you leave your job. It's definitely not a destination. It is something that you deal with on a regular basis because there are so many opportunities for you to fall victim and not feel free anymore, right? So remember that as I'm giving you these quick tips, because I feel like it's important to understand that yes, freedom is all about being able to do whatever you want when you want, but it is also about you and the inside of you. Okay, now moving on to those quick tips. The first thing that I want you to be aware of, or you should know, or the tip or whatever, is responding versus reacting. Now, and I say this because this is so important, and it's actually been something that has been important in my life. If you follow me, you know that I don't exactly have the best relationship with the father of my child, so I have really had to learn to respond rather than react. So what does that mean? Reaction or reacting is something that you either do or say most of the time, based on an emotion or trigger. You just snap like that, right? And you immediately go off, you immediately go into action for whatever reason is happening because you are triggered or feel emotional about something, which is essentially triggered, but that's for another day. But what you do is you react based on a feeling or a trigger that may not necessarily put you in a higher frequency place. It is actually putting you in a lower frequency place, and you just kind of fly off the handle. Responding is when you respect yourself and the other person, and you hold space for yourself and that other person, and you say and do things with grace for yourself and that other person. Now, this is much easier said than done. I totally understand that because things are very triggering and we have these emotions, and if you are not aware of that, it really just sends you off the deep, and I totally understand that. I completely get that. The best way or the best advice that I can give you about responding is to take a deep breath and let it go, and then answer. Now, it doesn't have to be as dramatic as I just showed you, because if you really are in a conversation with someone, there might be that fear that they think that you're crazy, and they probably already do, so whatever. But you can do it a little bit more natural. It doesn't have to be as dramatic. However, the point is that slow down will help you put yourself in a space where you can respond rather than react, so that you can say the things that respect you and that other person, and so that you can hold space for both of you, and that you can say things in grace for both of you. Because the truth is, when you react, it just really hurts you. It might hurt that other person, and that might be your goal, but the truth is that you want to respond because it later impacts you. The second quick tip that you can do to find your freedom that you're looking for is to start setting boundaries. This is so important because so many of us are just do whatever people ask us to do, even though we don't feel like doing it, or we don't want to do it, or we don't feel right about doing it, and then our integrity and our values are in question, but yet we still do these things. You want to start setting boundaries so that you can start doing things that make you feel good. It is okay to feel good on a regular basis. There is nothing wrong with that. So start setting these boundaries so that you stop doing shit that you really don't want to do. The third quick tip that I have for you so that you can find freedom is to be aware of yourself. You want to be aware of your emotions and your triggers and the things that set you off. You want to be aware of those because the awareness will actually help you respond rather than react. It will also help you set boundaries, but also that awareness will actually create this sense of knowing who you are so that you can actually find the freedom that you are seeking. The freedom is about knowing you and coming back to the state that you actually came into this world into. And I know that sounds a little woo-hooey or whatever, but the thing is that we just need to remember who we were at that point in time. And when we start remembering that, then we start to find this freedom. Being aware of your triggers and your emotions help you do that, because you know exactly who you are and where you came from, and then eventually that can't be held against you, which is like an ultimate sense of freedom. Sometimes we are afraid to talk about our past because we're afraid it's going to be held against us. And when you can take back that power, then everything becomes more natural for you. You can speak your truth and do the things that you want to do, and that is so powerful for finding your freedom. I want you to remember that freedom is not just a destination that you arrive at. Freedom is actually a state of being, and it is something that you may have to learn and take a while on this journey, which is totally okay. But that's why I wanted to give you the 3 quick tips to help you find the freedom that you're looking for. Remember, you want to respond rather than react. Remember to take a breath and then say the things that you need to say or do the things that you need to do. You want to set boundaries so that you are not doing shit that you don't really want to do. And third, you want to become aware of yourself and your past and your triggers so that you are responding and so that you are setting boundaries and so that you can take back your power and your past and yourself cannot be really used against you. And that's what I have for you today. I want to thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them below. I will get to you. Other than that, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you around.